Welcome back to the yarn room. My dog thinks I'm talking to someone. I said hello and he made a face like, who's here? Today is the WIP Tour video that I've been promising you for a while. For anybody who is new here, this is my dog Barrett. Hey, Barrett. Hi. Can you say hi to your friends? Hello. He is an English lab and he is almost 2. He turns 2 in July. But this is not helpful. This is not helpful for the WIP Tour. Okay, you gotta go. Goodbye. Okay, so now that the dog is not in my space, there's such a pile of stuff. I don't think I realized how many WIPs I had until I pulled out all of my bags to do this. So we're just gonna kind of get started. I think this is gonna be somewhat overwhelming, also somewhat inspirational to get me to get stuff done or to pull stuff out. So usually I do this by myself like once or twice a year, and I go through all of my WIPs, and it actually gives me the space to pull stuff out, like rip it off of needles and put it back in my stash. I very much get wrapped up into the mindset of I've started a project, I have to finish that project. But sometimes you just burn out, right? And sometimes you start working on something, say you start working on a sweater, and you realize that the yarn doesn't work for that the way you wanted it to. Or you thought you really, really wanted a project, and you thought you'd love the pattern, and it's just boring to you, or you don't enjoy it. You don't have to finish it. You're allowed to take it off your needles and put your yarn back in your stash and figure out what project that yarn is for on a different day. So I try to do that like once or twice a year. I basically always do that right around the new year. So I can go into the new year feeling fresh and like everything on my needles and stuff I definitely want. Sometimes I do it around this time of year too, because my knitting mojo definitely shifts right around now when it gets like really warm and I'm outside a lot more. What I want to knit on, how often I'm knitting changes. And so I sometimes like to assess now, and it's convenient that I keep promising you guys a WIP tour, and here we are doing a WIP tour. So now I have to go through everything. And so we are just going to pick from this pile and we're going to go for it. Because these two are in front of me, these are my 2 newest cast-ons. Actually, we're going to do these 2 last because they're also about a knit along that I'm doing. Okay, this bag. So this is a bag that I got from Skein Yarn Shop, which is my local yarn shop here in Rhode Island. So I am knitting a muscle burrow hat, I think is how you pronounce it, out of Always Be Kind yarns. And it's Sally inspired, like Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas. And this is the most fun self-striping yarn I've ever seen in my life. I'm knitting this on ChowGoo US 1s. I think I'm knitting the adult large size for the muscle burrow. And this is fingering weight yarn. I think I'm getting 8 stitches per inch. So if you haven't knit this pattern before, I don't actually know where I put my muscle burrow to be able to show you. But, oh, actually there's one right up here. 2 seconds. Okay, so this is a muscle burrow that I knit. It is very cute. This is Knit Picks Felici in the Cheshire Cat colorway. Yeah, I love this thing. And so this hat looks like a regular hat, right? And when you unfold the brim, and then you actually, it's a double hat. So basically what you do is you start at one end, you do your increases, you knit a big tube, you knit your decreases. And then I am not going to try to fold it in on itself on camera because it takes me a minute. But basically you fold one half up in there. I'll like start it, but I'm not going to make it look pretty. Basically, usually I fold it and then you kind of just like, I don't know. This is not a graceful thing. There are some people who do this really well. So basically I just do one of these guys. And then I try to match up my ends together in here and like fluff it around. And eventually it looks really cute and pretty organized. So that's what this hat is going to turn into. I'm on the straight knitting part of this. And yeah, so this has been my work meeting knitting. I have a lot of work meetings that are on Zoom. And I almost always have a muscle burrow on the needles. That's by Isolde Teague. For the patterns that I know, I'm going to try to remember to list them down in the description box below, in case you're curious. I'll try to list patterns and yarns for the ones that I know what I'm doing. There's a tendency for me to not know what yarns I'm using. Hang on, my cat is fighting the door. The actual worst. Okay, back again. So I'm gonna put that there. So that's my muscle burrow. And then I also have a 1x1 ribbed. The sun is not like letting this color come through very well. Let me see if it'll go up better on the ball. No, because it's blowing it out. But this is a 1x1 ribbed hat. It's the classic ribbed hat by Pearl Soho. This is Oliver. All of my pets are just going to make an appearance. This is the classic ribbed hat by Pearl Soho. It is a free pattern. This yarn is from Knits for Comfort. I don't remember what she called it. Dark and Stormy, maybe. We had joked about it being called that time of the month. When she first... Oliver, stop moving the chair. Hang on, need to move my cat. Stop moving the chair. He likes to rub his face on the, like, lever handle on the bottom of my office chair. No, don't do it. And so this is just a really simple 1x1 ribbed beanie. I knit the medium for this one. I've knit a few of these so far. This one will definitely stay on the needles. That's a basic like TV knitting, travel knitting project. And then I have another hat on the needles. Now this one, do I have the tag? No. Okay. So I don't know what yarn this is. And I don't actually remember which hat this is right now, but this is also a nope, this is a 2x2. I wonder if I can like pop this over here to block the sun a little bit. Oh, I got you. Wow. You can somewhat see it a little bit better. This is a 2x2 ribbed hat. These colors are just so good. And it's just a fingering weight 2x2 ribbed. This is on US 2s, I think. Yeah, I'm knitting this on US 2s. I think I'm just using like another free pattern. Even though obviously like knitting a 2x2 or a 1x1 tube is not complicated, I don't like I'm not good at stitch, like just knowing stitch counts or guessing at stitch counts. So I like to find free patterns for simple basic stuff like this. I'll try to remember to put the pattern name like on the screen here, and then I'll pop that down below too. And now what's in here? This is a cute alpaca bag from my friend Beth. Oh, I am knitting. I have been knitting. This is, I think, my fourth. This one's almost done. I should just finish this. I have been knitting hats for my best friend's baby. I mean, he's not a baby anymore. He's 9 months now. But these hats are, it was just a free 2x2 ribbed baby hat. This pattern has, I think, newborn through 18 months maybe. And I'm knitting the 12-month sizes. This is just, do I have the tag? No. I think this is Heartland Lion Brand. Yeah. And so it's just a basic 2x2 hat. I think I have like less than an inch left because this folds up. It's a cute little folded brim. And I've knit him a handful. I knit him these for newborn size, and he wore them for a really long time. And then I saw a picture of him, and they were so small on his baby head. So these 1 year ones are a little big on him right now because he is 9 months. But they'll last him a long time because they have good stretch. So definitely will be finishing that. Actually, this might not even be a WIP anymore. I might have already ripped needles out of this. Oh, this one is a WIP. I'll talk about that one in a minute. Okay. So I also have a sweater on the needles. So I'll talk about both of these. So I dyed this yarn. If you are new here, I not only knit, I also dye yarn under the name Ink Blot Yarn Co. My Etsy shop will be linked down below. And so there have been a few times that I've dyed up some stuff and I have just kept it for myself. And so this is one of them. So this is a Cozy Classic Light by Jessie May. It's so cute. Oh my God. I haven't pulled this out in a long time. I got sick of knitting in the round on, it's weird. I love knitting on the round on hats and socks, but then I get to bodies of sweaters and I'm just like, too much. So I put it down, but this makes me want to pick it back up again. So yeah, so this is, I'm knitting this out of a base set 75-25, I think. I don't have my tags in here anymore. And I'm alternating skeins. I'm using helical knitting to alternate. Do I want this to be short sleeve? Nah, I feel like this would be cute as long sleeves for like spring and fall because it's a thinner sweater. Even winter, I could just layer. So this is very cute. I forgot how cute this was. So I'm definitely keeping this one on the needles. And then this other one, this is a test knit. This is also yarn that I dyed. I am testing the Millennial Tee. Why am I blanking on the designer's name? I'll put her name and her Instagram handle right here. I'll also link that, like, as I said, I'll be linking places. This pattern is not out yet, so I'll link her Instagram page. So this is yarn that I dyed as well. Oh my gosh, this is also very cute. I need to measure and see how far we are because I think I'm almost done with the body of this, and then I just have a neckline and like barely sleeves. There's not a whole lot of sleeve that gets added on. This is a short sleeve tee. This is DK weight. Again, I am alternating skeins. I'm working with 3 skeins on this one, not 3 at a time. Let me clarify. I alternated skeins 1 and 2 for like the back and the front, and then up until like probably this dark blip. I think this dark spot here, like that really dark blip in the center, that came from skein 3. So I ended up cutting off skein 1. And so I'm now alternating skeins 2 and 3 here. And the rest of skein 1 will be used for the neckline, like the neckband, and whatever's left over will be used for sleeves. So yes, this is DK weight. This is actually a merino cashmere nylon blend, which is so soft. This would be good, like a good in the office. I want to not have to wear long sleeves, but I want something a little warmer. But also I don't want to roast, like I don't know. It's going to be nice. It's good for lots of situations. So yeah, we're working on that. And this test is due at the end of June. Today is Memorial Day. So I sort of need to finish it because I need to finish it, block it, and get pictures of it. Okay, this one, oh man, this is an old WIP. Okay, so this is, oh, I forgot about this stitch marker. Look at how cute this little cat is with a flower crown. This is And I love this shawl by Melody Hoffman. This pattern is so good. I've knit one of these before. It has this really pretty slipped edging. It's hard to see because it's not blocked, but there's eyelets all throughout this. And this yarn is, I know it's by Chris, but I don't actually remember what her dyeing brand is. I'll also put that here. I think I bought this in 2021. Like, I bought this yarn in 2021. I'm alternating 2 skeins, so I bought 2 that were there they looked similar when they were skeined, and then I caked them and they look fairly different. So I'm alternating them just to make sure that I don't have any weird color pooling. I don't really want to do one skein and then the next and then have a weird color block and be mad about it. I don't mind alternating skeins. Oh, I forgot about this. And then I'm actually, so this shawl is big. I have one, you can, if you scroll all the way back on my Instagram, you can find it, but even if you look at Melody Hoffman's page for the I Smell Snow shawl, this thing is huge. And it takes 2 colors for the first half, 2 skeins for the first half and 2 skeins for the second half. And I need to get the other 2, pulling stitches. I need to get the other 2 stitches, or the other 2 skeins. I don't have them. There wasn't a color. I think there was one color I liked that there weren't 2 skeins of, so I was gonna message the dyer directly and ask if she could dye me up 2 skeins to go with this. And the other half I want to be like dark, like probably close to black. There was a skein I found that was like black with undertones of kind of this green color. But I love this so much. This is gonna be fun. I think like this one I lost my steam on because you do have to count your rows. And when I was going, my own hair in my mouth. When I was going through the end of my graduate degree, I just counting rows, keeping track of anything was not an option. And so now I can work on this again. What else do we have here? Okay. This is my, it's pinned weird, so we've got that going on. Oh, maybe it's not. Nope, it's not. It's just tucked. Okay. This is my November cardigan, November sweater, November jacket. I think it's November jacket by Petite Knit, I think. Oh, look at how nice. So this is a brioche cardigan. This is being knit out of Barocco Lanas, which is 100% wool. It's worsted weight, so I mean, the scratchy doesn't bother me. Like, it's not super soft, but it's going to be so cozy. So yes, we are brioching on this. I'm just doing the body. I would definitely be keeping this one on my needles. It just moves slow. And I'm just trying to accept the fact that this is a slow moving sweater. I love brioche. It's the weight of the yarn, I think, that gets to me, but I'm just brioching back and forth. So that one won't take me all that long. This one I think I might frog. And for anybody who doesn't know the phrase frogging, it's because you rip it. Like, you rip it. So you frog a sweater, or frog projects if you don't want them on your needles anymore, because you rip it out. I've already got stitches falling off. I think I might take this one out. So recently I taught a class at Skein Yarn Shop. I teach there fairly, frequently enough-ish. I'm supposed to be working on details for a brioche class, and I just have not done that yet. I haven't had the brain space to do that. But I taught a knit your first sweater class, which was so much fun. Because you get a bunch of people who've never knit sweaters before, and they're all leaving with almost a fully finished sweater by the end of the class sessions. And so I obviously needed something to knit on as a sample while I was working through the class so that I could kind of show them all the techniques. And so I bought yarn from the shop that was dyed by Spun Right Round, and it's called Hellbent. And I don't know if this is going to show up on here because I can't get it on camera. Like, I just can't do it. Okay, that's fairly accurate. It's accurate enough to like get the point across. It is gray with these bright, just like chaos speckles. And I love it. Like, I love this yarn so much. I don't think I want the sweater. This is the Flax Light pattern by Tin Can Knits. I did not do there's usually an arm, like a purl or a garter ridge that runs all the way down the sleeve. I did not add that into this sweater. But the more I look at it, the more I'm thinking I want this yarn to be a shawl. I'm pretty certain I'm going to rip this one out. Actually, we're doing it. We're doing it right now. Needles coming off. I think this yarn wants to be a shawl instead of a sweater. And worst case, it still wants to be a sweater, and we'll knit a new one. Done. Done. I will cake that back up later. I will put the needles in their home later. No pressure. Like, it's done. My brain's not in it. We're not doing it. And then I have this guy. So this one I actually don't even remember what the pattern is called. I'd have to look it up. So this is a bulky weight shawl, which I forgot I even had. This bag got buried just like in my shelf of knitting projects. This is being knit on size US 15s, but I spun this yarn. So that's what's really fun about this. I spun this. This is one of my first, like, I don't know, this is one of my first spins. So it's really thick and thin. It's super inconsistent, which I think is a lot of fun. And this is just a really basic pattern. It's got some ribbing, it's got some garter, it's got some really basic lace. Just enough to like keep your attention and make a cute shawl at the end, but not so much that you have to like really think about it. And when it's on 15s, it goes real fast. So I'm definitely gonna finish that one at some point. I definitely just forgot it was even in my stuff. Oh, and then I have, so I'm knitting this, or I'm crocheting this out of Lion Brand Mandala, their ombre. It's all purples and grays. Which ball is this connected to? This one. So this is my Tunisian crochet project. I haven't worked on this in a while, so I really want to pick this back up. I'm just doing basic corner to corner Tunisian crochet. I'm using a Knitter's Pride US 9. It's going really well. I'm following tutorials by Tony Lipsy of TL Yarn Crafts. As soon as I told some friends I wanted to learn how to Tunisian crochet, they immediately recommended her and her tutorial. Like, I learned how to Tunisian crochet in like 5 seconds. It was really great. She described it super well. So yeah, I just think the texture is really fun. So yeah, we're gonna keep working on that. I've got enough to make like a giant blanket. So we're slowly working on that. And then the last two WIPs. Oh, this one, this is just, I've had this black I Love This yarn from Hobby Lobby in my stash for years, like years. And then I also have this like tweed I Love This yarn that has blacks and browns in it, and I bought it at the same time I bought this black. Like, it's just been in my stash for eons. And I have very much been on like a garter ridge blanket kick. They're easy, they're mindless. I can knit on them while I'm like watching TV in the evening or watching Nick play video games. And so I figured I don't want to knit garments in black because I don't like having to struggle through that. Even hats in black yarn are like minimally knit in my life. I don't enjoy them. Excuse me. Gotta stay hydrated. So I figured, why not turn this into garter ridge blanket, and I'm going to work in that tweed yarn. So I'm just literally knitting like a giant garter ridge blanket. I think I'm using US 8s. I don't even know how many stitches I cast on. I just cast on until I like held it out and said, this will be good enough for a cozy couch blanket. So I'm only this far in. And so I just grabbed this when I don't know what else to knit. Or like my brain is kind of overloaded on anything else, because I just knit endlessly. I'm gonna randomly work in the tweed stuff. I think I have 3 or 4, I think I have 4 skeins or 3 skeins of the black and 2 of the tweed. So I might do a full skein of black and then a full skein of tweed and alternate that way, but we're just winging that. And then the other 2 WIPs that I saved. So Kay of the Crazy Sock Lady on Instagram and Ravelry and YouTube started her summer sock camp last week. Nope. I mean, yes, technically, but it was just on Friday. So it was just 3 days ago. And I'm participating in that, which I'm really excited about. I picked back up my socks a couple days ago. I don't think I've talked about this on here. I mean, I've talked about having just graduated from a program, but I don't think I've talked about the fact that the last 6 to 8 months of my graduate degree, all I did was knit socks. All other projects got put by the wayside. I can't even describe to you. I don't even know. I lost count of the number of pairs of socks I knit in my final year of graduate school. It was the only thing I could focus on, the only thing I could use, like that's literally the only thing that I could use to shut my brain down. So I would knit a pair of socks and immediately cast on the next one, and it was just constant. It was a constant rotation of socks. That's all I could work on. And so when I finished my degree in December, I stopped knitting socks. I haven't knit a pair of socks since December. I tried to knit a few. I have ripped out a couple. There's a pair called the Rhapsody socks where you hold yarn double that I really want to knit, and I started those and I ripped those out. I think by the time I got done with my degree, I was so burnt out on life and on socks, and so I just sort of like shut down. And so I picked up this pair of socks the other day, and my sock mojo is back, and I'm so excited, and it feels like a little part of me like woke back up, which was really nice. There's been like phases of coming out of my graduate degree, you know, like finding myself, finding my creativity, finding like my energy again, and finding like getting back to socks after basically 6 months has felt really, really, really good. So I'm excited to have it be summer sock camp. So basically summer sock camp is just a knit along where you make socks. You make socks all summer long. And so I currently have 2 pairs going. So this first pair, I am past the heel decreases. And so this is yarn that I got gifted by my college roommate. She had gone to like a maker's market thing and saw yarn and sent it to me. It's so cute. And so this was inspired, I think it's called Ice Queen. I used to nanny for a family whose daughter has cerebral palsy, and we, oh my God, we watched so much Frozen. Like we watched it constantly. And once the second one came out, we would watch the first one and then the second one, and it was just our jam. We did lots of Frozen. It was so much fun. And so it was just a kind of a nod to all of the time I spent with Lily. I had to stop nannying as I was finishing my degree because I had started a job at the same time. And so it was kind of just a nod to like all of the time that we spent. And so these socks are moving. And then I also last night cast on some simple, these will be full leg 2x2 socks. I saw Kay do this the other day. She posted about a pair of socks where she knit the whole leg 2x2 and then knit the top of the foot 2x2 rib. And I'd never ever thought about just not knitting a separate cuff and knitting everything 2x2. And I'm like really excited about it. So here we are with this. I think, so this tag is long gone. This yarn, I've tried to knit into things so many times and I keep ripping it out. As you can see, by the way, it's all wound. I think this might be Lamstring Studios. I don't know the colorway, and I couldn't even begin to guess, but it's gorgeous. I mean, it's got so many fun colors in there. And then at the same time that Summer Sock Camp is running, okay, pause. Those are my WIPs. That's everything I've got. I think I'm only going to rip out that one. I mean, I ripped out that one sweater, and I think that's the only one I'm going to rip out at this point. Everything else I feel pretty comfortable with keeping. And a lot of it I will just knit really slowly on it. Other stuff I kind of feel like I want to finish pretty quickly. So yeah, so we're just going to keep all of those. But that's where my knitting stands right now in my crochet with my one crochet project. Some of my upcoming plans, I have some stuff that's already planned out. And so with Summer Sock Camp at the same time, Rachel of Treehouse Fiber Arts, I'm fairly certain, is pairing up with the women at Legacy Fiber Arts, Sue and Chelsea, and they are running a Legacy Fiber Arts make-along, where from today, Memorial Day, through Labor Day, you make with your Legacy Fiber Arts stash. Rachel put up a video the other day, I think, describing the make-along and all of the like really unreal prizes they have tied to this one. So I'm really excited. The whole idea is you just knit your Legacy Fiber Arts stash through this chunk of time. And so after I finish one of these pairs of socks, this is my next up pair of socks. This is a micro skein from Legacy Fiber Arts. This is a mystery set. So they fairly frequently will go through all of the yarn that they have already dyed, and they will do mystery sales where they don't have the yarns named. This is usually, from what I understand, this is typically yarn that Sue was working on, like formulas for colorways that ended up becoming colorways. This is precursors, or this is a colorway that like one of the dyes went wonky and did a weird thing they didn't expect. And so these typically, they come as mysteries, as the name implies. But you can, the way they usually have it set up is you can pick your base, and then they'll send you a mystery colorway. And so this was one of them. And a micro sock set is a 50-gram skein and a 20-gram mini. I have small feet. I never use a full 100 grams. And then if it's a 100 grams and a 20-gram mini, I never use all the yarn. And so in this case, it's 50 grams and 20-gram mini, and it's the perfect amount for socks. So this is my next sock cast on as soon as one of these pairs of socks is finished. I know that I have two pairs of DK, or two skeins of DK weight yarn from Legacy Fiber Arts that I think I'm going to cast on at least one of them into a pair of DK socks, maybe both of them. So we'll see. We've got some fun plans. I also may have put in an order this morning for some more fingering weight mystery skeins from them. So yes, they're moving. Sue is moving from Connecticut to Vermont, which is where Chelsea lives. And so they put all of their yarn on mystery sale, like all of it. And I tried really hard to hold off. But then I was watching their podcast this morning, and they were saying there was still some stuff in the shop. And then I looked, and their fingering weight steel toes base, which is 75.25, was on sale. And it was still in stock. And so I ordered 2 skeins. So they'll be here soon. The other plans that I have 2 spinning plans currently. So they're not technically WIPs yet, but I think I might spin later today, so it will be a WIP technically by the time you guys see this video. Is to spin up the yarn or the fiber that I dyed. So if you watched the fiber dyeing video that I posted a couple videos ago, you would have learned about this then, but I recently tried my hand at dyeing fiber. This is a 75-25 blend, 75 merino, 25% nylon, I'm pretty sure, that I dyed up, and I think it's gorgeous. And so this is going to be my next spin. I've also decided, so a long while ago, I bought this big bundle, which is 285 grams. It's 10 ounces. So one of these braids, this is a 4-ounce braid. This is 10 ounces. I got this from Hobby Lobby a long while ago. It is acrylic, polyamide, and wool, and it's just gray. And I think what I want to do, this has been in my shelf for so long, and I think if you watched my stash video, like the cleaning up the stash video, I have that whole bucket of scraps. I think what I want to do is spin this up and hold this double with scraps to create like a squishy garter ridge scrappy blanket out of stuff that I've knit, and then this fiber that I want to spin. I think that would be so much fun. So I'm pretty sure after I do the purple and yellow braids, this is my next spin after that, and I want to knit it with my scraps. There are some scraps that I think I want to pull out to knit a like scrappy color block shawl with some of my like fuller skeins that are in this shelf here. So eventually, I haven't sorted them yet. I have been having this issue where when I pull yarn out to sort it or plan for projects, I'm getting very overwhelmed. So basically I pull all of the yarn out and then I stare at it for a second and then I get overwhelmed and then I put it all back away. So it's just gonna sit there for now. Maybe after I spin this, I can figure out what's gonna go into a blanket and what wouldn't, because there's some like single skeins up, like single ply scraps up there that will not go into a blanket. I also recently ripped out, I was working on a habitation through a blanket that I did rip off the needles because I have there's a bunch of single ply yarn in that blanket and I can't throw that in the washer. And when you have animals, like I'm not very good at like, you're not allowed to snuggle on this blanket because you are an animal. Like if an animal's gonna snuggle a blanket, they're gonna snuggle a blanket. But then I want to be able to throw it in the washer. And single ply cannot go through the washer and dryer. So maybe I'll take any of the minis from that blanket that are like regular 2-ply or 4-ply sock yarn and throw that in with the stuff that's gonna get knit with this gray fiber. We'll see. But yeah, so that's my WIPs. I will keep you updated on where we stand for summer sock camp and the legacy fiber arts knit along. And I will see you guys all soon. Bye.